What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to share a quick case study on a recent client of ours and show you how we took them from $3,792 in attributed email marketing revenue to over $40,000 in a 30-day period. And we did this over just 3 months. And I'm going to show you how we did it. And I'm also going to give you some notes on what made this account unique, because I don't want to, just give you any kind of false ideas, because this was a unique scenario with the problems that we were dealing with, but also just some of the advantages of this particular e-commerce business. So let's jump into this. So here's a look at 3 months ago when we first started working with them. You can see attributed revenue was just under 12% and it was at $3,792. And you'll see that most of it was coming from flows. No revenue coming from SMS, and we'll talk about that in a minute, because that was one of the things we added. And now here in the last 30 days, you can see attributed revenue is just at 30% and over $40,000 in the last month. And still the majority of revenue coming from flows, just a lot more revenue. But also you can see some revenue from SMS as well. So let's jump into how we did it. So there were really 4 major levers that we pulled to achieve this. So the first thing is we needed to fix some email deliverability issues going on. We updated the flows, and we haven't even completed that yet, but I'll talk about that in a minute. We added SMS, and then we started sending some segmented campaigns. So the first thing was they had some major deliverability issues. So if you look at these emails, this was during the Black Friday period, and you can see these open rates, 6%, 14%. Compared to what we're getting now, which is 50, 60% plus, depending on the campaign. And so what had happened was the previous agency that was managing their emails had inadvertently crashed their email deliverability. So part of it was because they were sending very aggressively during Black Friday, which we typically do. We typically send aggressively during Black Friday with our clients as well. But there was an issue happening that they did not catch that was really causing all of these problems. And so the big thing that was happening is, you've probably seen this if you have a Shopify account, where maybe you've dealt with spam or hackers or whatever. Maybe you've had a bunch of fake orders created. Maybe you've had a bunch of fake users created on your account. These are things that we've seen with clients over the years. In this particular case, what was happening is hundreds of people were being added every week. Hundreds of new users were being added to their Shopify account, and they were getting pushed over into Klaviyo. And these were real email addresses. These were real people and real email addresses. And so what happened is they started including all of those people in their email sending. And so now all these people are getting emails from this brand that they've never heard of, that they never signed up for. And you know how annoying that is. And so a lot of them started clicking spam. And of course, the majority of them just didn't open, didn't click or anything. So that drove the engagement way down. But also, from all those people clicking spam in a short period of time, it caused to where all of their emails started going to the junk folder, even whenever they were sending to people who had signed up and who had regularly engaged with their emails in the past. So their sender reputation was low, and that really they just couldn't even get their emails through to people. So this was a major issue. So what we did to fix this is, first, we just fixed some of the technical issues with the domain itself. So all of these new requirements that have come out in February of 2024, these are things that were just best practice even prior to that. So that's, those were the things that we did. So we set up a dedicated sending domain. We made sure they had all the appropriate DNS records like DMARC and DKIM, all of that. And so that was the first thing. And then we needed to warm up that dedicated sending domain, but also we wanted to take a break because we were getting so much negative feedback from the poor engagement with those emails that first we had to filter out all of those profiles that were causing the issues, which was a really easy fix if you know what you're doing in Klaviyo. Got those people out, stopped sending campaigns for a couple of weeks just to give the email list a break. And so part of that, one of the issues that was happening is that people who had received emails 2-3 weeks prior were, I guess, going through old emails and still hitting spam on emails that had been sent several weeks prior. So they were still getting some negative feedback for a little bit. And of course, that just kind of naturally went away as time went on. But then whenever we did start to send again, we were very intentional about sending text-only emails at first because those tend to have a higher deliverability. And we also were sending emails that we were sending to a very hyper-engaged segment. So we were going to, really engaged customers. And we were also sending emails that would provoke them to reply to the email, because that's a very high positive signal for email deliverability, that people actually want to receive these emails. So we did that for a little bit. And then we noticed, okay, engagement has come back up. We're getting really high engagement with these emails. And then we just started slowly ramping back up the normal campaigns, doing the normal style, graphic designed emails like we normally do. And we were able to see engagement come back and be even higher than it was before. So then the next thing we did was, really, they already had some flows built out, but we ended up adding some flows, and we ended up updating some flows, and we still have more flows to add because we haven't been working with them for very long. But you can see here, flow revenue was at 3,700, and a little bit, and then now it's at 37,000. So a big boost in flows, and it wasn't like we added a whole lot. We just updated what was there, was part of it. So we updated the welcome series, we updated the abandoned checkout, then we added the abandoned cart flow, which they didn't have, and we added the browse abandonment flow, which they didn't have. And then we also tested a new opt-in offer on the pop-up form to just get a lot more people opting into the list in the first place. So again, it's just really, putting a big emphasis on the quality of content in these flows, getting some of the missing flows added, and we're still adding. They still don't have all the core flows that we want to get built out, so we're still adding flows right now. I just didn't want to include them in here because all these screenshots I'm showing don't reflect those flows that we're adding this week. And then a really simple change was we added SMS, and we haven't even done much with SMS yet. All we've done is we've added in one SMS. So when people get, now when people see the pop-up form, there's a page on that form for them to opt into SMS, and then we've added one SMS message that delivers that welcome offer to them. And just that one message has more than paid for their service, or paid for our service, in the last 30 days. And this was just from a 30-day window. So over the course of the last 3 months, it was more revenue. But just in the last 30 days, they have covered the cost of our service with just this one SMS. So we are going to be doing more SMS. We just wanted to get that one going because, again, it's just one of those low-hanging fruit opportunities where if you don't have it, you definitely want to start building up your SMS list, like I've always talked about on my channel here. And so that way you have it for the times whenever you really want to leverage it. But also, in the meantime, it's a great way to add a little bit of revenue. And then lastly, what we did is we started sending some segmented campaigns. So here's some screenshots from a few of the campaigns. And really nothing crazy here yet, because again, we're just getting started with them. So we're still just doing a lot of testing. So right now we've started testing different segments. So you can see like the click rate, for example, is pretty different in this email versus these two. And that's because this was a much smaller segment. And we started testing new marketing angles. So instead of just doing the typical thing that e-com brands do, where it's always just some sort of flash sale or some sort of discount thing with campaigns, we started testing different things. So I know, let's see, this one was a pre-order. There's no sale, just a pre-order. This one right here was just a unique angle of just a pain benefit driven email. And then this one was just letting people know that a product was back in stock, and not even, again, no sale, just it's back in stock, and making it out to be a big, exciting thing. Okay, so some things to note, because I don't want to make it seem like, oh, this is just so easy, this happens all the time. And the truth is, this sort of thing does happen all the time, but again, it just depends on, there are other factors that play into this besides just the work we did. So the first thing is that this client is running ads. So we didn't do this alone. And again, I always say, I don't think email is it's not going to be the only thing that matters in your marketing. It's just going to be one of your most profitable and most reliable sales channels. But to me, if you don't have a good traffic source, whether that's through organic traffic, whether that's through ads, whatever, it's going to be hard to grow your list. So them running ads had really helped for us to get a lot more people onto the list and get people into those flows. So that's one thing I just want to give credit there where it's due. And we partner with an ad agency that's working with them. And so we partner together with several clients actually. And so again, to me, it's all about finding people who specialize in certain marketing services. And if you build relationships with people who are really good, and you can get great results for people and kind of spread the love around by referring clients to each other. So that's how we work with some of our partners. Another thing to keep in mind, this is a very small email list. Once we filtered out all those fake profiles, the active subscriber list is less than 2,000 subscribers. So this goes to the point that you don't have to have a huge email list to make a lot of money from email. But the caveat there is point number 3 is that they have a high AOV. So this is a product that it's in the kids space. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but it's a high average order value product. Most of their, the flagship product starts at like $600. Some of the other products that people would buy that are more of accessories for that core product are anywhere from $30 to $300. So, but they have to get that first main product to buy all the other stuff. So again, it's a pretty good AOV, which allows us to generate a lot of revenue with a small list. And the last thing I want to point out here is this is a unique product. So this is not just some run-of-the-mill supplement or face cream company. Not that we don't like those, because we love working with those, and those are amazing for email. But just something to know that whenever you see drastic changes in a short period of time, that again, I just don't want to make a false promise like this happens every time if your product is pretty generic and is pretty comparable to everything else out there. Their products are unique and they're really cool. So that definitely makes a difference. So if you want us to run your email marketing, if you want to elevate your email marketing and start generating more money and not have to even worry about managing your email marketing and save yourself a ton of time, then book a call with us today. But that said, please only book a call if you own an e-commerce business, because right now we're only working with e-commerce businesses, and ideally an e-commerce business that's already established and you already have at least one reliable traffic source, and you're generating anywhere from, I'd say, like a $250,000 to $500,000 a year and above. That seems to be a good starting point to hire an email marketing agency. If you're below that, then I would recommend checking out the other videos on my channel and doing some of this stuff for yourself until you can get your revenue up a little bit, and then hire someone like us, hire our team or another team to manage it.